Everybody, Beth Combs here. It's Wednesday morning and it is raining here at the Grand Canyon, but I didn't have time to set up somewhere else for class this morning. So I am hoping that um, you all can hear me okay over the sound of the rain on the tent. I was at least able to set up my equipment under some kind of structure. So hopefully you are awake and joining me live. If you are, please feel free to send me an emoji or a comment or anything. I love finding out that people are attending live. Or if you're watching the replay, I would love to hear from you as well. So this morning's practice, we're just going to kind of keep moving gently. I know that we're in the new moon. We just had the new moon yesterday. So some of you might be feeling a little introspective and kind of wanting to look inward a little bit more and reflective. I am actually in my ovulation energy though, so I've got a little bit more energy to burn. So I'll try to blend those two ideas together with our practice. We'll kind of keep moving, but maybe not go so fast. And hopefully that'll support you wherever you are in your menstrual journey. So we'll go ahead and get started on our mats. In a seated cross-legged position. So I'm going to sit up on a blanket. You could sit up on a block if your hips are tight. And if you can't feel that your hips are tight or you don't know what that might feel like, you just want to make sure that your knees are actually in line or below your hip bones. So if your knees are like way up here, then that's a good indication that you probably want to sit up on something when you're in this position. So we're going to root the sits bones down. And then we're going to lengthen up the spine and out the crown of the head. Begin to tune into the breath. Sometimes when I feel distracted, I'll actually focus the inhales and exhales coming through my heart chakra or the breastbone area. I'm just noticing the physical sensations of the breath through the chest. So if at any time in your practice today you start to notice your monkey mind is taking over, try to come back to your breathing. The breath is the solid foundation of our practice. Even though we do the poses, the breath is the root. And breath is life. As you're breathing, see if you can soften your jaw. Allow the top and bottom teeth to part. And if you're pressing the tongue to the roof of the mouth, see if you can release that. We want to try to create some nice open space in the mouth area. Maybe even get into our Ujjayi breath, where we're exhales are lightly stroking the back of our throat like ocean waves or Darth Vader breath. And we'll go ahead and place the right hand on the mat next to us. We'll bring that left arm up alongside the ear on an inhale, and then exhale over to the right any amount. Maybe gaze up under that left arm. Then we'll exhale, come back to center. We'll plant the left hand. Inhale, bring the right arm up alongside the right ear. Over to the left, any amount. Make sure you're pressing up from that left wrist. You don't want to sink into the wrist. Maybe gaze up under that right arm. Then we'll exhale, come back to center. And then go ahead and change the cross of the legs. And then we're going to take a short twist here. So we'll sit up nice and tall, inhale, and then exhale, rotate to the right, place the left hand on the right knee, place the right hand back behind you. As you inhale, sit up a little taller. As you exhale, rotate a little bit more, but just make sure you're rotating from your abdominals and you're not using your left hand to yank your torso over. And once you've gone as far as you can, go ahead and gaze over that right shoulder if your neck will allow it. Then we'll inhale, we'll come back to center. And then again, we'll sit up nice and tall and then rotate over to the left. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, rotate to the left a little bit more. You can place your right hand on your right knee, place the left fingertips back behind you. And if you've only got your left fingertips on the mat, don't put a lot of pressure in that. The fingertips are not made for having a lot of weight in them. Once you've twisted as far to the left as you can, feel free to gaze over that left shoulder. Then we'll inhale, we'll come back to center. And then if you're sitting on something, go ahead and move that out of the way. We'll do tabletop position so we can set up for cat cow. So we want our wrists underneath our shoulders and we want our knees underneath our hips. We want the tops of our feet are pressed into the mat. So we're going to inhale and lift our forehead and our tailbone up. And then we're going to exhale, pull the belly button back towards the spine. Inhale to come up. Exhale to pull back. Inhale to come up. Exhale to pull back. And you can also, if you've got some wrist issues, you can actually make a fist. If it just is wrists are a little too tender this morning, you can actually use your fists instead. Inhale to come up. Exhale to pull back. Inhale to come up. Exhale to pull back. And then take 2 more following your own breath pattern. And we'll all meet back in tabletop position. I'll cover the mouse up so it doesn't get rained on because it's raining a little harder. I thought the rain would be nice and gentle, and hopefully it'll stay that way. And if not, I guess I will consider this my shower for the day. We're going to bring our right fingertips out in front of us, and we're going to bring our left toes back behind us. We'll take an inhale, and then we'll lift the right arm up alongside the right ear, and we're going to press through the heel, but we're going to leave the toes on the mat unless you want a little bit more of a challenge, and then you can lift that left foot up off the mat. And if you feel wobbly, see if you can pull your belly button in towards your spine for more stability. Then exhale, lower everything down. We'll switch sides, so left fingertips out front, right toes back behind us. We'll take an inhale. Exhale, lift the left arm. You can keep that foot on the mat, or you can bring the right foot up to hip height or lower. If that's all you've got today, that's fine. Just check in with your body and just make sure you're pressing through that right heel and reaching through those left fingertips. And then exhale, lower everything down. And we're going to do each side one more time. So right fingertips out in front, left toes back behind. Inhale. Exhale, see if you can lift the arm and the leg. So reach through the right fingertips, press through that left heel. Make sure your leg isn't way up in the air. You want it in line with your hips. You can exhale, lower everything down, switch sides. One last time, inhale. Exhale, lift the left arm, lift the right leg. Then exhale, lower everything down. And then we'll just lower to child's pose for a couple breaths here. So you can bring the knees together and lower the torso down, or you can keep the big toes touching, widen the knees, lower the torso down, extend the hands out in front, lift the elbows off the mat, and place the forehead on the mat. And then we'll come back up to our tabletop position. And we're going to take a little bit of a hip stretch, a hip flexor stretch here. So we're going to actually bring our left foot in between our hands. And you can keep the hands on the mat here if that works for you, if that's where you're at today. If you feel a little wobbly, then you might want to just stay down here. You're still getting a great stretch in that hip flexor on the right side. Or you can bring the hands up to the bent knee. Or you can bring the arms up alongside the ears. So stop wherever you're able to hold your balance. And then we'll fold forward, and then we're going to rock our hips back for a hamstring stretch. So we're going to lift the toes towards the sky, flex that left foot. You can bend this left knee as much as you need if your hamstring, the back of your left thigh is really tight. And fold over that left leg, any amount. So if you're way up here, that is okay too. You're still getting a great stretch in the hamstring. And then we're going to plant that left foot, and we're going to take a little twist here. So we're going to keep the right hand flat on the mat next to our left foot, and we're going to rotate the torso toward the left leg. And maybe you can even bring that left arm up towards the sky, fingertips pointing towards the sky or the ceiling. We'll exhale, come back down, and then we'll bring the left foot back to tabletop, and then we're going to switch sides. So right foot in between the hands. Again, we can keep both of our hands down flat on the mat or on blocks or books if you've got any. Or you can bring your hands up to your bent knee. Or you can bring the arms up alongside the ears. And then we'll plant the hands and we're going to bring the hips back, bring the right toes towards the sky. Again, feel free to bend your knee here if your hamstring is tight. I'm going to place the hands flat on the mat, or again, if you've got wrist issues, you can always use your fists instead. Then you can bring that foot back down. We're going to place the left hand on the inside of the right foot, and we're going to rotate our torsos to the right this time. And if you feel wobbly, just press that top of the left foot into the mat to help stabilize. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. Maybe bring the right arm up so the fingertips are reaching towards the sky or the ceiling. And then we'll exhale, bring that right hand back down. And then we'll go ahead and bring the right foot back. And we're going to come into our first downward facing dog. So we'll flip the toes and pull the hips up and back towards the sky. Feel free to pedal your feet out here. Then we're going to step the feet up in between the hands. And we're going to take a forward fold here. So again, if your hamstrings are tight, feel free to bend your knees. You can even bend them so much that your chest actually rests on your thighs. Maybe clasp the elbows here. Shake your head no, nod your head yes. So we'll inhale, sweep the arms up and around, and exhale the hands to heart center. And we're going to take 5 rounds of resilience breath here. So we're going to inhale, sweep the arms up, and exhale the hands down to heart center. So we're going to do that 4 more times. And you can feel free to exhale through the mouth. This helps engage our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest system. It also helps us release any tension we might be holding on to from this morning or from yesterday. Today is a new day. See if you can release that and prepare for what unfolds for you today. So we're going to do a few rounds of sun salutations since it's already looks like about 19 minutes into our practice this morning, so we don't have as much time left as I thought we would. So we'll inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, step the feet back and lower down to tabletop or lower down in chaturanga. The torso goes all the way to the mat. We're going to pull the tailbone towards the heels. Inhale up to cobra. And then exhale, pull the hips back for downward facing dog. Then you can pretty much always feel free to pedal your feet out in down dog. Then we're going to step the feet up in between the hands. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up and around. Exhale the hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, lower all the way down to the mat, either through tabletop or chaturanga. All 10 toes pressing into the mat, tailbone pulling towards the heels. Inhale, up to cobra. Exhale, pull back to downward facing dog. Step the feet up in between the hands. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up and around. Exhale the hands to heart center. And we'll take one more round here. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, step the feet back, lower down to tabletop or through chaturanga. Pull the tailbone towards the heels. Inhale, up to cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, pull the hips back for downward facing dog. So you want your weight even between your hands and your feet. You want the weight in your hands to be between your index finger and your thumb. And you want your upper arms pulling in towards your ears while gliding the shoulder blades down the back. So we'll inhale, lift the torso halfway up, exhale, fold forward, and then inhale, sweep the arms up and around, exhale the hands to heart center. So we'll take a little standing stretch here. We're going to slide the right hand down the right leg and lift the left arm up and over to the right, any amount. Then we'll exhale, lower that down, and we'll switch sides. So the left hand is going to glide down the left leg. We're going to bring that right arm up alongside the right ear, and then fold over to the left any amount. And then we'll inhale, come back up to center. And then we're going to do just a couple rounds, well, one round of Sun Salutation B. So we'll stand with our feet hip width apart at the top of the mat. We're going to inhale, sweep the arms up, and lower our seat into chair pose. Make sure your knees are not beyond your toes here, so you need to be able to see your toes. Pull that tailbone down towards the mat so you're not arching your back. Take a big inhale, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, lower down to tabletop and all the way or chaturanga. Pull the tailbone towards the heels. Inhale up to cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, pull the hips back for downward facing dog. We'll step the feet up in between the hands. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Oh, sorry. Oh, come back to downward dog. I forgot the most important part. We'll lift the right foot a couple of feet off the mat, and then we're going to place it in between our hands. And then we're going to bring, you can leave your hands here, or you can bring them up to the bent knee, or you can bring them alongside your ear. For Crescent Pose, you want to be really rooting down through that right heel and pressing through that left heel and extending that left leg nice and straight. And you can make a diagonal. You don't have to crank your torso all the way back if your hip flexors are just not feeling that this morning. So we'll exhale, plant the hands, step back to downward dog. We'll lift the left foot up off the mat and bring it in between the hands. So again, you can leave the hands on the mat, bring your hands up to your bent knee, or bring your arms up alongside your ears. And really press through that right heel. Make a nice straight line with your right leg. Press through that left heel. Then we'll fold forward and come back to down dog. Then we'll step the feet up in between the hands. Inhale, lift the torso halfway. Exhale, fold forward. And then inhale, we're going to lower our seat into chair pose, bring our arms up alongside the ears. And then exhale to standing and bring the hands to heart center. Then we'll go ahead and take a seat on our mats. And we'll just take one forward fold here. Forward folds are great for introspection. I really like to do forward folds, maybe because my hamstrings are kind of more flexible, or they are flexible. But I think they're helpful for everyone to take some time and just sit with yourself and see how you feel about different things. So we'll inhale the arms up alongside the ears, and then we'll fold over the feet. You can bend the knees here if your hamstrings are tight. Feel free to close your eyes. Maybe just observe what you're reflecting on right now. Maybe it's gratitude for giving yourself this practice this morning, or gratitude for a good night's sleep. Or maybe you didn't sleep well and you're feeling a little judgment about that. See if you can soften that and show compassion towards yourself. And then we'll inhale, we'll come back up with the arms, and then exhale the hands down by the sides. And then we'll go ahead and set up for Shavasana. So you can roll up a blanket and place it under your knees. You can place a pillow under your head. I'm going to use my pillow as a blanket for my head. And go ahead and lay back and rest. If you've got any tightness in your low back, you can actually bend the knees the width of your mat and then lean the knees in toward one another. So that's another option. Otherwise, extend the legs out in front of you, allow them to splay open naturally. You can bring the hands out about 45 degrees, or you can bring the arms up to goalpost arms if you need a little bit more stretch in your collarbone area across the chest here. So whatever your preference happens to be. We'll stay here for a few moments. Begin to lengthen your inhales and exhales. Roll over to your right side. Oops. Then bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Feel free to close your eyes here. Bring your hands together at heart center. So I hope this practice this morning has helped prepare you for your day ahead. The compassion, the love, and the light in me honors the compassion, the love, and the light in you. Thank you for practicing with me this morning. Namaste. And I'll be doing a live class again tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 6 o'clock Pacific time. So feel free to join me then or catch the replay. But have a great day. Thanks. Bye.